Usually this time of the year, Maryland field hockey can look forward to making a run in the NCAA tournament. However, last Sunday, they found out that for the first time since 1994, they will not be playing in it. This begs the question, what comes next for the Terps? All that and more coming up on this edition of the Left Bench in Focus. Welcome to the Left Bench in Focus. I'm Jake Ballard alongside Sierra Green, and the NCAA tournament is right around the corner. And normally we'd be talking about how Maryland has a shot at their 9th championship, but on Sunday there was a groundbreaking announcement.
Jake, for the first time since 1994, Maryland field hockey is not even in the big dance. We weren't born the last time that happened. Let's start with what may have been the final straw for the Terps, and that was their early exit in the Big Ten tournament. On Thursday, the number 2 seeded Terps took on number 7 seed Ohio State in the first round of the Big Ten tournament. In the second quarter, Ohio State takes advantage of the penalty corner opportunity, with Anne-Marie Krebs finding the back of the goal, giving the Buckeyes a 1-0 lead entering the half. But then, freshman Maya Adamson ties it up with her second goal of the season in the 35th minute off of Maddie Vasilio's assist. The Maryland equalizer did not last long as the Buckeyes regained the lead off another penalty corner in the 43rd minute. Both teams had equal shots on goal, but ultimately the Ohio State defense aided them in a 2-1 win, ending the Terps season. To help us recap field hockey season, we're happy to welcome the TSC field hockey beat reporter, Cadence Redmond. Cadence, thank you for taking time to talk with us today.
Of course, I'm happy to.
I can get us started here today, Kane. So the question on everybody's mind, we've already mentioned it, is that the Terps did not make the NCAA tournament. So can you kind of talk about why they didn't make it?
Yeah, so I think unfortunately the team was rather inconsistent, especially when it came to their offense. And so, we didn't really know what Terps we were going to get every game. And they had their game against Michigan, which was a great showing of their ability against ranked teams, especially after upsets to Duke and Boston College. But then they had some more losses after that and a loss against Indiana, which just should not have happened, I guess. And I think that with those kinds of inabilities to capitalize on offensive opportunities, they just weren't up to NCAA tournament standards.
Okay, so 7 players earned all Big Ten honors at the end of the regular season. 4 of them were juniors. So what kind of leadership do you expect from that group heading into the next season?
I mean, I'll start with Josie Holloman, since she was already in a leadership position as captain alongside Erica Morris-Adams, who's now graduating. So she'll definitely have to step up and fill that defensive leadership alongside Alyssa Cabasco. Missy always said that they were kind of the king and queen of that defense, so I definitely think they're going to have to step into those seniority roles. And then you have Macy Bradford, who she was their leader in points and assists, and she'll definitely need to step up to help build that offense to what it can be. So she'll definitely be important in that leadership role. And then you have in the midfield, which I feel like isn't talked about a lot, you have Annemine Kleinout, who she's really important in transitions. She has amazing stick skills, and so she'll be really helpful in that aspect.
And this season, you kind of already mentioned it, was filled with tons of ups and downs. So if there's any moments that kind of stick out as a point of the season that Missy Moharg might want to take back and get another shot at?
Definitely that play against Northwestern. We started so strong in that, and I genuinely think that if we had kept that cohesion from the first quarter, there was a possibility of beating such a highly ranked team. So I think she'll definitely want to look at that content of play and try and take that offensive content into the next season. And then defensively, I feel like most of the games were really strong in that. I think that against Michigan State, it was kind of a big battle of defenses, and we ended up coming out on top of that. So I think that, keeping that strong defense is going to be important, especially with losses of Erica Morris-Adams and Fleur Knoppert. So,
as simply as we can put it, what's next for this team and Missy Moharg in the offseason?
So, for Josie Macy and Alyssa, they will have the Junior World Cup to look forward to. They were selected for Team USA for that. So that's really good for them to keep those skills up. That's coming up next month in December. And then for Missy, it's definitely going to be looking at what went wrong this season, helping the current players to learn from that, and then also looking to recruiting, as many of the high school field hockey had their state championships. So looking at the talent that she can take from that and put into the next team to build that dynamic, I think.
That's all the questions we have for you today, Candace. Thank you so much for joining us today.
You can find her on X at CRedmond06 and follow her reporting of Maryland field hockey on TerrapinSportsCentral.com.
Thank you so much, guys.
Stay right here, because when we come back, we'll break down the NCAA tournament field.
We'll also hand out our end-of-season awards and take a look at the top 5 plays of the season, so make sure you don't go anywhere.
The impact of a meal goes well beyond feeding our bodies. Because when people are fed, futures are nourished. Everyone deserves to live a full life. And with your help, together we can end hunger. Join the movement at feedingamerica.org/actnow.
Welcome back to the Left Bench in Focus. I'm Jake Ballard. That's Yergi and Sierra. The Terps are now entering a weird period in the season. They played their last game on Thursday, and the only thing they have to look forward to is next year.
Yeah, Jake, the team will be losing players, and Missy enters the offseason with more questions than answers. So who's in the tournament this year?
Well, TSC's Madeline Burke joins us now with a look at how the rest of the tournament field played out. Madeline?
That's right, Jake. The Division I Field Hockey Selection Show aired at 10 p.m. on Sunday, and by 10:20, Terps fans learned that the last Thursday would be the last time they saw this season's squad play together. But why is the news so shocking? Even after the unexpected upset loss against Ohio State, Terps fans still assumed Maryland to have a spot in the NCAA tournament. Of course, that didn't happen. The last time Maryland didn't make the tournament was 1994, 30 years ago. That year, Maryland ended with 10 wins, 9 losses, and 2 ties. This season, Maryland ended with 10 wins, 8 losses. Even after all the automatic qualifiers, teams like Yale, who have never qualified for the NCAA tournament before this year, have been awarded a spot on the bracket over Maryland. Now, for the 18 teams that did make it into the tournament, it will be a tough road to the championship. North Carolina grabbed the top spot in the bracket, Princeton was the number 2 seed, and Harvard and Virginia grabbed the 3rd and 4th seeds. Typically, the Big Ten gets more than one bid to the tournament, and they did just that this year. Iowa will play Duke in the first round. The Ivy League dominated this year's field with 3 teams: Princeton, Harvard, and Yale. So I have some predictions for the Final Four. Reigning NCAA champs and this season's Big Ten tournament champs, Northwestern, is set to face Yale first. Now, if you look back at the Wildcats season, they are dominating a majority of their games, winning by a large amount of unanswered goals. I'm predicting that they will pass UVA and meet up with the tournament hosts, UNC, for the semifinals. Wake Forest fell to Syracuse in the ACC quarterfinals last week, but they hold the potential to go on a revenge tour and pass number 3 seed Harvard. I think they will meet up with Princeton for the semifinals. Princeton was the only team this season to defeat Northwestern, so it will be interesting to see where things go from there. Who's going to win it all? I'm going with Northwestern. The championship semifinals and finals will be held at UNC from November 21st to the 23rd. It will be interesting to see who will come out on top.
Thanks, Madeline. I got to go with Madeline. I think Northwestern has the best chances,
I'm going to say it's not going to be Northwestern. I think they're too big of a team. I don't see a team going back-to-back. I'm going to keep it in the DMV, though. I think Virginia's got a good shot this year.
Okay, interesting take. It's now time to hand out our end-of-the-season awards, starting with Defensive Player of the Year, which has to be junior goalkeeper Alyssa Klobasco. Klobasco was named to the All Big Ten second team for the second time in her career, and Big Ten Player of the Week just last week. She recorded 54 saves in the regular season, third most in Maryland field hockey history. She's made her challenging role look effortless and was a crucial part of the team this season. For that, she earns our title of Defensive Player of the Year.
Now we're going to jump to the other side of the field, and we're going to crown our Offensive Player of the Year, who this year is none other than Macy Bradford. Bradford led the team in points with 18, and was second in shot on goal efficiency with 73.1%. Additionally, she led the team in assists with 8, and being the all-around offensive weapon that makes the Terps go, earned her our title of Offensive Player of the Year.
For MVP, I gotta go with the freshman forward Jordan Holloman. Holloman was the team's leading goal scorer this season with 7 goals. She also had 3 assists for a total of 17 points. Holloman was named the Big Ten Freshman of the Year, an award Maryland hasn't received since 2022 with Erica Morris-Adams. She also earned a spot on the All Big Ten second team. On top of this, she had 3 Big Ten Freshman of the Week awards throughout the season. She's definitely a player other teams will need to keep an eye out for years to come.
And like we said, it was a very eventful regular season for the Terps, and so with that, there was obviously some great plays that were made. So let's take a look back at the top 5 plays before the postseason. So Sierra, why don't you get us started?
I'd love to. Okay, starting with number 5, we have Juna Eichelboom's first career goal against number 1 Northwestern. This was a great moment for her and for the team. They went on to lose the game, but a great moment and an effortless goal.
Yeah, now we move on to number 4, where we see Ella Gayton get a pass from Macy Bradford. Her and the goalie trip, but it's not going to stop Ella Gayton from getting the goal, scoring it, and this is the winning goal against Michigan. It was tied 0-0 before then. Okay,
number 3, we have Jordan Holloman with a no-look goal against Northeastern. It was like she had eyes in the back of her head. Insane goal.
Now we go to number 2, and a great first goal has to be one where it's against a ranked opponent, and it's a game winner in overtime. Maya Adamson, great first goal for her, and it's going to be a start of a great Terp career.
And then at number 1, we have the much-anticipated Felice Kune dive and score. This was featured on SportsCenter Top 10, an insane goal. I was there in person, and it looked just as crazy in person, I can't lie. That about does it for this week. Be sure to keep up with all of TSC's coverage on Instagram, X, YouTube, and online at terrapinsportscentral.com. That's all from us. We'll see you next time.